Hey everyone, Nina here from nb&ns, and today we're going to talk about Facebook ads. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how to create the perfect Facebook ad. Now, I hear from a lot of people that they've tried Facebook ads, that they didn't work for them, that they were expensive, and they didn't sell anything when they used Facebook ads. And I'm here to tell you that Facebook ads work. There is a steep learning curve, but once you get them to work for you, they are probably the most powerful way to advertise these days. I truly believe that your money or anyone's money is best spent on using Facebook as an advertiser. Of course, it depends on your business, but for the most part, Facebook can be powerful for any kind of business. Now, in this live, I'm going to talk about how to create the perfect Facebook post. I did a Facebook Live and a blog post a couple weeks ago that kind of gave an in-depth like Facebook 101 type of lesson. So after you watch this live, make sure to check that out. I did link to it in the description of this live. So I am going to take questions during this live. So as you are watching, feel free to pop in. I'm going to refresh my screen over here to make sure that I can see everyone who's here. Say hello. And I will take your questions as I go through this. Now, if you watch it on the replay, I do always come back and answer questions. So if you're watching on the replay, don't worry, you can still ask your Facebook ads questions and I will get back to you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Today, we're talking about how to create the perfect Facebook ad. So the first thing that you need to do to create the perfect Facebook ad is to segment your audience. So what I mean by that is if you have several different kinds of audiences. So let's say you target realtors and entrepreneurs and moms. So you have these different sets of an audience. You need to separate them out when you're advertising to them because one Facebook ad does not fit all, meaning you need to address in the Facebook ad who you're talking to. In a lot of our Facebook ads, we will actually call out the specific person that we're talking to. So for example, we have one ad that is targeted to moms and it starts out, "Hey mama." So we are speaking directly to that customer that is a mom. So we talk to them exactly. Dana's saying my sound went away. Can anyone else hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, if you're here or not. Okay, so one ad does not fit all. So separate out your audience and speak to them specifically through the ad by actually calling them out. The next thing you want to do is address their specific pain points because maybe all of your audience has the same pain points. Maybe they have specific things that you address that help them with their problems. So let's say that you advertise to realtors and they want to find more clients that are wanting to sell their home and you can help them with that. So you want to call out that specific issue of that specific audience in your ad. And that's going to help your ads perform much better than if you have just a general ad that is supposed to appeal to everyone. One of the things we like to say in marketing is if you're trying to be everything to everyone, you are actually nothing to no one. So you want to be specific, you want to talk to your specific audience member, and you want to address their specific pain points and how you can fix it for them. All right, so the second thing that you can do is you want to focus on your image. So your copy is important in your Facebook ad, but your image or your video that you use in your Facebook ad is going to stop that scroll. We all know that we do it. We're on Facebook, we're scrolling along, and typically it's an image or a Facebook video that stops our scroll, right? It's not something that we're reading. So it really should stop that scroll. Now, some things that you can do to stop that scroll is I would suggest putting the headline of your ad as a text overlay in your image. So if you're offering, 50% off of your product, you want to say 50% off today in a graphic over your image. Now, you do have to keep in mind Facebook It used to be a rule that you absolutely could not have more than 20% text in your ad. image. That is not the case anymore. They have removed that rule. However, the more text that you have in the image, the less Facebook's going to serve it, and except for specific examples, but they're very specific, so it probably does not apply to you. So you want to use Facebook's text overlay tool to test if your image has more than 20% text in it. And I do link to it in the blog post that I linked to in the description of this live. So after we're done here, you can go check that out. Now, something else you want to do is you want to make sure that your ad copy and your ad image complement each other. They should go with each other. They should help tell the story. They should help strengthen your message. So for example, if you are talking about birthday cakes, you should have a picture of a birthday cake in your image. They should go together. They should help tell your story of your ad. And then using photos of people are going to work better than just an image of a product. So back to birthday cakes, yes, a beautiful image of a birthday cake will probably stop the scroll, but an image of somebody blowing out a candle or people sharing the cake is more likely going to perform better than just a picture of the cake. Because think about why we are on social networks like Facebook. We are on these networks to interact with other people. We're not there to interact with products or inanimate things. So when people see a face, they're more likely to relate to it than they are just to see an inanimate object. So just keep that in mind. So focus on your image. Now, the third thing I want to talk about for the perfect Facebook ad is to include a call to action. So think about, what is your objective of your ad? Is it brand awareness? Is it engagement? Is it getting someone to sign up for your email list or to convert for a purchase? You know, you have to think about what your objective is and make sure that your call to action matches that. So if you are wanting somebody to sign up for something, your call to action should be sign up or register or whatever it is, but it needs to match your messaging. You need to make these ads really, really easy for your audience to act. So what I like to do is I actually like to include my CTA, my call to action, in the copy of my text. So for example, we have a couple free webinars that we run. If you haven't taken one, let me know. I'll send you a link. But we have 2 webinars. And in the ad description for the webinar, I include the words register with a link to register for the webinar. In addition, we use Facebook's CTA buttons that they offer. They offer several different versions when you're setting up your Facebook ad for people to sign up as well. So I am reinforcing the message. I am making it really easy. So if maybe somebody doesn't see that Facebook button, they'll see the link in the text description of the Facebook ad. So you have to make it really easy for people. You have to make it really clear and make sure that the message of your ad matches what you want people to do. Again, we don't want people to have to make a leap as to what it is you want them to do. Tell them what to do next. Make it really, really simple. So my next tip, number 4, is to keep your ad short. So this one is really, really hard for me personally. You can ask Neil, my business partner. I am not good at brevity. I like to talk and talk and talk. Obviously, I'm talking and talking and talking here. So I try to cram everything into my ads, and that's always not the best thing to do. Because if you can get what you're offering and how it benefits your ideal client into one short sentence, because think about it, we're all just scrolling. We don't want to read a novel. We just want to get on to the next thing. So if you can get that across in one sentence, that's awesome. Try it, do it, see if it works for you. Because my next tip actually 100% contradicts myself. So my next tip is to tell a story. So I just talked about how you can keep your ads short and they'll work. And now I'm going to tell you to write a really long story. Just stick with me here because sometimes things that work for one company or one person are not always going to work for the other. However, I do have a caveat to this tip of writing a long Facebook ad is you are telling a story. So it's not just an ad about all of the benefits and listing everything in the world about your product or your business or whatever. It's actually telling a story about what it is you want them to do, or your company, or whatever it is that you're offering. And the reason that these longer ads that tell a story work is, again, I've said it quite a few times in this live, and it's think about why people are on social media. They're there to connect. We tell stories on our Facebook page. We talk about our vacations and what our kids are doing and all of those things. People connect to stories. So try a longer ad, but tell a story. Draw them in, educate them, inform them, entertain them, or inspire them to take action, because when you draw them in, and when you get them to relate to the story that you are telling them, they're more likely to do business with you. So I know I totally contradict myself there. Do a short ad, do a long ad. Try them both, but make sure if you are doing a long ad, you're telling a story that's drawing them in. Okay. So if you guys have any questions as I go through this, please let me know. I'm keeping an eye on the comments. There is a slight delay, so it might take me a minute to see it. If you are here watching the replay, I do come back and answer questions. Ask a question if you're watching that replay. All right, so my next tip is to keep it simple. Again, this is something else that I'm really bad at. And it's because I know my business really well. I know social media really well. I know digital marketing really well. So I tend to over-explain. I tend to give every single detail. And I tend to talk about step 20 instead of backing up and talking about step 1, because step 1 is obvious to me. This is what I do every day. However, it is not obvious to your ideal client. They're probably just starting out learning about your product or your service. And so you have to back up and take it to step 1. You have to go to that 101 level and keep it simple for them, because using jargon and technical terms and telling them what you think they want or need is going to turn them off. So you need to keep it simple. You need to keep it 101. You need to start at step A, and you really need to answer the question of what they need right now. I think a lot of times as consultants or entrepreneurs, we can see the big picture. And so I'm like, this is what you really need. But actually my ideal clients need one simple problem solved first. And then they'll see the bigger picture, and then they'll see more of what they need solved. But I have to address that step 1 for them first. So keep it simple. Put yourself in the shoes of your ideal client and try to help them get past that first step before you try to take them down step 5,000. Okay, so my last tip for creating the perfect Facebook ad is to create urgency. So there are a lot of things that are trying to capture our attention these days, especially on social media. There are a billion things that we can do, click on, watch, whatever it is that people want us to do. So in order to get people to act, you have to create urgency. You have to give them a reason to click right now. Now that could be offering a time-limited deal or a promotion or scarcity, saying you only have 100 of these items, or you only have this much time, or you only have 3 spots open for clients. You have to add that urgency to get people to act now. And something that you can do to help that is know your customers' motivations. Create an incentive that drives them to act. So look at what are their core problems, and can you solve that for them right now if they act right now. Now, I do want to warn, you don't want to create a false sense of urgency. So don't say you only have 10 items if you actually have 20, because that's going to undermine your integrity, and then people are not going to trust you ever again. So make sure that the scarcity or the urgency that you are creating is true. People don't like to be tricked. Okay, so I do have a bonus tip for you for creating the perfect Facebook ad, but it wasn't technically something that would be part of a Facebook ad, so that's why it's a bonus tip. And that is whatever it is that you want your clients to do next. So if you are asking for people I'm just refreshing to make sure I can see questions. So if you are asking people to click off somewhere and go buy something, or to sign up for, an ebook or an email program or something like that, you want to make sure that your ad and your messaging are consistent with wherever you're sending somebody, and they don't have to take a bunch of extra clicks. So for example, let's say you're selling a product. You should send them directly to the product page. Don't say, well, click here and then click on products and then search this. You're gonna lose them. They're not gonna do what you want them to do. If you are having somebody sign up for your email list, make sure that your branding is similar in your Facebook ad as it is when you take them to your landing page, because they are, if you say one thing and they're like, did I even click on the right thing? I don't think this is the right company. This looks weird. People are very suspicious online these days, so you want to make sure things are very clear and easy for them to do. Something we do is we have our pictures all over social media, and then we put our picture on all of our landing pages and things, so people see our face and they're like, oh, yep, that's Nina and Neil. I know this is their page, so I trust them and I'm willing to sign up or do whatever it is that we're asking them to do. So just keep that in mind. You want it to be consistent from your Facebook ad to whatever it is that you're asking them to do. So those are my tips for the perfect Facebook ad. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to put them in the comments. There is a little bit of a delay, so bear with me on that. If you're watching this on the replay, please feel free to ask me any questions. I'm seeing one come in from Julie. Is there a minimum budget required for running Facebook ads? Julie, that's the great thing, is there is not a minimum budget. I would recommend don't go below try like $5 a day for like 2 weeks and see how that works for you. That's a good little place to kind of start and get your feet wet with Facebook ads. So I would say $5, but there's not Facebook doesn't have a minimum that they make you stick to for Facebook ads. So that's one of the great things is you have to have a minimum to buy a television commercial or something. You don't have to have a minimum to buy a Facebook ad. So I would try, Julie, take $5 a day for 2 weeks, play with it and see how that works for you. Like I said earlier, we did a blog post and a Facebook Live that kind of went in depth of things that you need to put together and think about, and then how to set up a Facebook ad. We did that a couple weeks ago. So I did link to it in the description of this Facebook Live. It's the second blog post link that's in there. So for today's Facebook Live, it's the first link. You can check out everything I talked about today. And then the second link is the in-depth Facebook ads post that we did a couple weeks ago. There's a live for it. I believe I added it to the blog page, so you can watch that live right there as well. Also today, we have a bonus piece of content that you can get. So if you head on over to the blog post, we have a Facebook ad checklist. And so it has everything that you need to put together before you go in to set up a Facebook ad. So we talk about, what kind of photo to use. We talk about all of the different parts you have to write, because there's a headline, there's main copy, there's lower copy. So there's all these different things that you need to write and put together before you publish a Facebook ad. And we put together a checklist along with some tips on what to do for each of those pieces. So make sure that you check that out. So that is all that I had today. I did want to say we have some really exciting stuff coming up for Black Friday and maybe some other things. And we are going to be sending out an email next week, kind of teasing that to the folks on our email list. So if you want to know first the stuff that we're going to be releasing, it's really exciting. I think you guys are going to love it. Some of it's free, some of it's I don't want to give away too much, but sign up for our email, our e-newsletter. If you head over to the blog post, you'll see it either, depending if you're on mobile, it'll be on the bottom. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, if you are on a computer, it'll be on the right-hand side, so you can sign up for our email list. So make sure you are signed up for our email list, because we have some awesome stuff coming out next week. So thank you again for joining me today. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, like Catherine, I saw you just tagged somebody, tag other business owners that you know that could benefit from this information. Give us a like, give us a heart. Let us know if there are any questions that you had. Like I said, I always come back after these and answer questions from people who watch it on the replay, so no worries. If you missed the live, you can still ask questions. So thank you again. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I am actually going to skip next week since Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you not next Thursday, but the Thursday following. We will be doing our December content planning session. I know a lot of you guys attend that and love it, so make sure you head over to our events section and RSVP for that, because you will be first to know when the free content workbook comes out. I'm working on wrapping that up, so make sure you RSVP for that training as well. So thank you again. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, have a good one.